Was this the best pay-per-view of 2020? Hello, everybody, and welcome to your WWE TLC review. Today, we are going to be talking about the best pay-per-view of 2020. In my personal opinion, this was indeed the best pay-per-view in 2020. WWE ended the year with a bang with this pay-per-view. I enjoyed it all the way through. I thought it was a very good show, a very good pay-per-view, and so many incredible great matches, a lot of satisfying things that happened. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. This was a very good event. WWE went all out with this one. They wanted to end the year on a positive note, and I felt like this was a good way to close out what has been a god-awful 2020. And I don't mean wrestling-wise. I mean 2020 as a whole, with how this world, in the real world, is like. It has just been god-awful. I hope you guys are all staying safe in the pandemic. Make sure you all wear your masks and wash your hands and keep yourself safe. So, let's talk about TLC. Tender Love and Care. Nah, I'm kidding. It's tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my. So we had a pre-show match. It was an 8-man tag. This one was a bit of an odd one. This was a bit of an odd choice. But it was Big E, Daniel Bryan on the pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Who would have thought we'd see that? Chad Gable and Otis taking on King Corbin, the Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Big E would end up pinning Sami Zayn in this tag team match. And I want to mention this. I find this very interesting. I don't know if this is funny or not, but Billie Kay, she also made a brief appearance at this pay-per-view. Am I the only one who finds this kind of funny? That the Iconics and Heavy Machinery both break up, and the ones we're seeing on TV the most are Otis and Billie Kay. Otis has more TV time than Tucker, and Billie Kay has had more TV time than Peyton Royce. What happened to Vince McMahon wanting to push Peyton Royce? I thought Vince was a big Peyton fan. Did he change his mind? Did he realize how good Billie Kay was, and he's like, oh, I made a mistake. I should not have said that Peyton Royce was the superior person to push. Should have been Billie Kay. I should have used my head. Billie Kay, she's very funny. I should have been pushing her from the beginning. Now, obviously, this isn't leading to her to being a push, but Billie Kay, she's just so incredible. She's just so funny. She's like a hidden gem in the Crash Bandicoot games. She's like a gem in the Crash Bandicoot games. She's just so special. You just don't know what you've got with her until you grab her and you see what the potential she brings. She's like a gem from Crash Bandicoot. So rare and so special. You just don't know what to do with it until you do it. So I don't know if I find that funny or if I should be a bit upset for poor old Peyton Royce. But, you know, Peyton Royce is teaming up with Lacey Evans, one of the worst women's wrestlers on the face of the planet. So I guess pairing Peyton with her is the worst thing that has happened to poor old Peyton. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. That Otis and Billie Kay are getting more TV time than the other two. Where's our boy Tucker gone? Mr. Otis, who can't function without him. More like it's Tucker, who can't function without Otis on WWE Main Event every week. He's probably not even on WWE main event. He's probably not even on WWE main event. Yeah. Good job, Tucker. I'm very glad you chose to turn heel, turn your back on Otis, and now you're left with completely nothing. Yeah. Good career choice there, buddy. Good career choice. So, anyway. So that was the pre-show. Big E pinned Sami Zayn, and apparently, I've heard that Big E will face off against Sami Zayn on the Christmas episode of SmackDown. Well, I think it's safe to say we're getting a brand new Intercontinental Champion on that episode, because that happened with Rusev. Remember last year, Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States title on the Christmas episode of SmackDown, and Rusev won the United States Championship. So, I guess we could just pretty much pencil in Big E winning the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. So then we had Drew McIntyre facing... The show started pretty surprisingly, but, you know, good decision, good way to start, good way to get the fans excited. We had Drew McIntyre facing off against AJ Styles in a TLC match, but we also had The Miz. The Miz comes out and cashes in his Money in the Bank. This is something I really am hoping for 2K22. I'm hoping they can allow you to cash in no matter the match. But knowing a video game, they probably won't do that. But yeah, The Miz came out, he cashed in his briefcase officially, and it became a triple threat. And this is where I got a little worried that maybe The Miz was going to somehow win. Big boy Omos, he decides to pick up... He made me laugh. Like he was grabbing The Miz like he was his firstborn child. Like he was holding him like this, like a child. He just walks over. And then he sees the table, and then he just goes, boop, just drops The Miz on a table. That made me chuckle. That did make me laugh. That was pretty funny. John Morrison whacked Omos, however you say his name. Wiped him with a chair, didn't even affect him, and John Morrison ran away like a scared little girl from the big 7-tall giant. And then this all led to Drew McIntyre retaining. So The Miz fails his Money in the Bank cash-in. So tell me again why taking the briefcase off of Otis was the right thing to do. Can someone tell me that again? Can someone give me a good reason why taking the briefcase off of Otis was better? Otis was the perfect person to use as a catalyst as a failed cash-in. So, instead of doing the right thing, having Otis cash in that case and fail, you just change your mind and say, no, we want Miz to fail the cash-in. This year's Money in the Bank for the men was possibly by far the worst you could ever see out of it. And I feel bad for Otis. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, I don't mind him. I feel bad for the guy, you know? It made more sense to have Otis fail the cash-in than have The Miz. You should have just never taken it off Miz. It literally made no sense. They only took it off him because they didn't know how to take it off him. They probably didn't want Otis to lose. Then you shouldn't have had him win the briefcase in the first place. But all I'm saying is, I just think it's pretty weird that they wanted this year's briefcase winner to be a failed cash-in. Then you should have just done it with Otis, instead of just passing it over to The Miz. The Miz, you know, I don't want to see him as WWE Champion. The Miz is awful. Miz doesn't deserve another WWE title run. I'm sorry if I'm breaking anybody's hearts. I don't want to see Miz as WWE Champion. He sucks. And I predicted he was going to fail his cash-in if he was going to. So Drew McIntyre retains in a very, very, very good TLC match. I really did enjoy this a lot. Then we had Sasha Banks take on Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and Sasha Banks, she walks away with the win here. Who said that Sasha Banks was going to lose the SmackDown Women's Championship because of a certain cousin being on AEW? Who were the fools that said Sasha Banks was going to lose her title because of a certain Snoop being on an all-elite wrestling? Who said that? Snoop who? Snoop who? Snoop has nothing to do with Sasha Banks and her title run. Sure. Cousin. Who cares? Means nothing. Doesn't mean Sasha's going to drop her title to a bum like Carmella. And I will admit, Carmella has improved. I will admit it. She's gotten better. I'll admit it. She showed off a new submission maneuver. Very impressive. I actually liked that move. That new submission hold she used. Other than the Code of Silence, that other submission hold she used. Very impressive. I did like it. But all I'm saying is, stop jumping to conclusions. Sasha Banks was never losing her title, no matter what the reason was. Snoop who? Snoop who was going to cost Sasha who the SmackDown what? Sasha who? Sasha Banks is going to lose to who? Because of Snoop who? Get out of here. Stop jumping to conclusions, you ignorant idiots. Then we had the Hurt Business take on the New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles. Now, you guys think I'm probably mad that the Hurt Business won these titles. Yeah, I'm upset about it, but, you know, I don't care. To be honest, I really do not care, because they were literally the only team. They're the only team. Other than Retribution, who else? Other than Retribution, who other teams on Raw are going to challenge for the tag team titles? Go on WWE's Raw roster page and try and tell me who is the next valuable team that's going to face the Hurt Business. Ivar's out. No more Viking Raiders. Who else? Tell me. Who else? Miz and Morrison? They're probably going to break up soon. Who else? Exactly. There are no teams on Monday Night Raw. There are no teams. That's why I don't care. That's why I don't care that the Hurt Business won. They are literally the only team that WWE has on their Raw show. The only one. That's why I didn't care that they won. That's why I didn't care, because I was like, well, who cares? They're gonna have a pretty weak run, because there's no other teams other than the New Day. Who cares? That's really all I gotta say about this one. It was a fun tag match, but who cares? And congratulations to Cedric Alexander, finally winning his first main roster championship. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to him. I thought the dude was buried. I thought the dude was buried. I thought the dude's career was going to sink because he's a cruiserweight. I guess at the end of the day, at the end of the day, people were wrong. But congratulations to Cedric. As for Shelton, I don't really care. But it is good to see him, actually be treated better. Because I did like Shelton back in the day. Shelton I did like back in the day, but I don't really care much now. But whatever. The Hurt Business have dripped in gold. And why do WWE always have these habits on having stables win championships? I mean, can we have a dominant stable that doesn't have to win titles? Can someone literally tell me a stable that is a dominant stable, but they never needed titles? The only one I can think of is NWO, when WWE brought them in 2001. I don't know if I could name a stable that was so dominant that never won championships. The Wyatt family? Maybe the Wyatt family, because they technically did win the tag team titles at the end of 2016. They technically won the tag team titles. Technically, they became SmackDown tag team champions. But all I'm saying is, there's rarely ever any stables that look dominant and they don't need a title. It seems like this company feels like a dominant stable always need to have championships. I feel like not all stables need championships. That's just me, though. Then we had the women's tag team titles. Asuka's mystery partner ended up being, well, the obvious person that I predicted on my Raw review. The only logical person that made the most sense out of it all. The Queen! Charlotte Flair! The Queen makes her comeback. And you know what's the best thing about this? Charlotte Flair is a babyface. That is the one best positive about this, is that she's now a babyface. For the love of God, don't turn her heel ever again. Don't. I can't stand Charlotte as a heel. Charlotte as a heel is literally just so bad. She's just so bad as a heel. I love Charlotte, but I just can't stand her as a heel. She's so much better as a babyface. So that's the best thing about this, is that Charlotte's now back as a babyface. And secondly, the second best thing about this, these godforsaken titles are off of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Hallelujah! After 112 boring days of literally nothing, we have finally been saved by a worthy team of Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Shaska! The Royal Queens. That'll be the name that I'll be giving them. The Royal Queens. Charlotte Flair winning her first tag team title. I honestly thought she would only win them with Becky Lynch. But I guess with Becky gone, I guess Asuka was the second best option, I guess. Didn't Charlotte Flair say that her winning the tag team titles is a downgrade? I guess she's okay with the downgrade then. I guess she's okay with being downgraded. Secondly, another thing I want to mention here is that Ember Moon on Twitter has been teasing that she wanted to team with Asuka. Why does Ember Moon care? I specifically remember her saying she doesn't care about the women's tag team titles. So now all of a sudden you care? Whatever. Whatever, I guess. I mean, I guess everyone has a change of heart, I guess. But whatever. But yeah, anyway. Asuka and Charlotte are the new women's tag team champions. And I love it. I love it. For obvious reasons. Because nobody enjoyed Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax's title run. They defended their titles 3 times out of the 112 days they were champions. They are literally the worst champions in the face of this title's history. 3 title defenses, no appearances on NXT, 1 appearance on SmackDown. Yeah, such great champions. Now you know why I don't like Shayna Baszler having her hands on a championship, because she literally does nothing with it. Nia Jax, I mean, why did you give her the tag team titles? Shayna and Nia clearly don't give a shit about the tag team titles. They clearly didn't give a shit about those titles. If they really cared and enjoyed being the tag team champions, you know, maybe they could have been fighting champions. Gone to SmackDown and gone to NXT. Showed that they actually cared. They could have shown they actually cared about being the tag team champions and actually gone to every goddamn brand that the title is supposed to be used for. The title is supposed to be used to go between every single brand. Either WWE follows through with what the titles are supposed to do, or make them exclusive to one show. Either make them a title that is supposed to go between all three shows, or end that, or stop that completely and make them exclusive. I am so damn tired. I'm just so damn tired of WWE just wasting these titles. I absolutely enjoyed Sasha and Bayley's run because they actually showed they gave a shit. They gave a shit about those titles. They defended them against everybody on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Everyone. They showed they cared about those titles. I think Asuka and Charlotte could do the same thing. I feel like they could be a tag team that could legitimately care about about the tag team titles and its division. I did not care who Asuka's partner was, as long as those titles were off Nia Bum and Shayna Bumsler. And those titles are finally off them. Hallelujah. Now we can end this Nia Shayna nightmare and finally put it behind us. Charlotte is now a babyface. And say it with me. Shayna Baszler can't beat Charlotte Flair. Shayna Baszler can tap out Bayley all she wants. She can tap out Bayley all she wants. But the one horsewoman that she just cannot defeat. She just cannot do it. No matter how hard she tries, she just can't beat Charlotte Flair. I guess she can't beat Becky Lynch either. But Charlotte Flair pinned her ass with the natural selection. So congratulations to Asuka and Charlotte. Love Charlotte. Great she's back. So happy to see her again. After being gone for 6 months, she looks great as ever. And great to see her as a Grand Slam champion. At long last, the Queen is a Grand Slam champion. So then we had Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a TLC match. This was incredible. This TLC match was incredible. Kevin Owens was... These two need a rematch. These two need to have a match at the Royal Rumble. This match screamed round 2. I loved this match. This match was great. Kevin Owens, despite his efforts, despite how hard he tried, he just could not beat Roman Reigns. He fought his heart out, and I just loved this match. This was just so good. I loved Reigns versus Owens. This was fantastic. I love to see a rematch. I love to see these two go at it again at the Royal Rumble. This is way better than any crap that Goldberg would ever do. Goldberg says he wants to face Roman Reigns. Yeah, get the hell out of here, Oldberg. Get the hell out of here. Great match. Keep Goldberg far away from the Universal Championship. Great match. Roman retained. We got a new... Sorry, not new. We've still got a Universal Champion. Roman Reigns retains. And then finally was the main event. Did not expect this to be the main event, to be perfectly honest. We got the main event. Randy Orton facing the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Still no Alexa Bliss. Yeah, she's not the weakness. Yep. Yeah, someone not showing up for 3 weeks in a row certainly is not the weakness of the Fiend. Surely not. There's no way she's the weakness, considering that she hasn't shown up 3 weeks in a row. She hasn't shown up since Randy Orton said she's the weakness. Yeah. Not the weakness. Sure. Sure she's not. Sure she's not. If she wasn't, she'd be on the shows. But whatever. It was a Firefly Inferno match. And the only way to win was to set your opponent on fire. And Randy Orton did just that. He set Bray Wyatt on fire. Now, if there's one thing I really did not like, was the commentary. I did not like the commentary in this match, especially the end, where they were telling Randy Orton to not set Bray Wyatt on fire. And I was just thinking to myself, dude, that's the whole point of the match. It's the whole damn point. In order to win, set your opponent on fire. That was the whole point of the damn match. And hearing Samoa Joe and Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips all begging Randy Orton to don't set the man on fire. Don't set the Fiend on fire. It's the whole damn point of the match. It was the damn point of the match. That was the whole damn point. By the way, didn't Kane create the Inferno match? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Kane was the originator of the Inferno match. Didn't he lose the first ever Inferno match? Pretty sure he did. And now the Fiend is the originator of the Firefly Inferno match, and the Fiend lost this one too. So I find it ironic that the originators of these matches are losing their matches. I think The Undertaker was the originator of the Buried Alive match, the Casket match, and the Hell in the Cell, and I think he's lost more of those than he's won. But all I'm saying is, I didn't like the commentary because that was the whole point. That was the whole point of the match. That was the whole point. Rules were simple. Set your opponent on fire. Would have Joe and Byron and Tom, would have they told the Fiend to not burn Randy Orton if Randy Orton was in that position? I bet they'd all be cheering. I bet they'd be cheering Bray to burn Randy's corpse. Secondly, I don't understand why the Fiend is the good guy in this story. I think it was Charlie Caruso on the pre-show. Yes, it was Charlie Caruso on the pre-show. She said Randy Orton is facing the ultimate villain at TLC. Villain means bad guy. Randy Orton is the bad guy, apparently, and the Fiend is apparently the good guy. So Charlie Caruso calling the Fiend the ultimate bad guy or the ultimate villain makes no sense. Makes no sense for her to say that when the Fiend clearly isn't the bad guy in this story. Silly. And secondly, no, the Fiend is not buried. Before anybody says she is, he is, not she. Made it sound like the Fiend is a girl. Well, anybody who loses in WWE are buried apparently, but no, the Fiend is not buried. 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 And I'll keep telling it until you guys get the picture. The Fiend is not buried. He never was buried. He has never been buried. Even when he was the alter ego Bray Wyatt as the Eater of Worlds, he was never buried. Bray Wyatt has never been buried. The alternative of buried is someone like EC3. That's buried. Eric Young, that's buried. people who we never see anymore on our television. Those are the equivalent of buried. That's the equivalent of buried. Humberto Carrillo, where's he been? Where's he been? But Randy Orton wins this match. I feel like this storyline is going to continue. I don't know what they do next, but I think now actually, I don't really know what they could do with this story next. I really don't know. I feel like this story is going to continue. But at the same time, I don't know what else you could do. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow on Raw. But anyway, yeah, I felt like this was the best pay-per-view of the year. All year. And what I mean by that, I mean by WWE. Because some idiots are going to think, oh, nah, AEW, they had better pay-per-views than this. No, I mean WWE. The W. The WE. Not the AEW, the WWE. TLC 2020 is the best WWE pay-per-view this year. I felt like this was a very enjoyable show. Outside of the Hurt Business winning, I didn't really like that much. But other than that, I really felt like this was a very, very good show. I give this a solid 9 out of 10. This was a very good pay-per-view. If you guys haven't watched it, I'd advise you guys to go watch it. Very good. I loved the TLC matches. Sasha and Carmella, good match. Asuka and Charlotte putting an end to the nightmare of Shayna and Nia. Double thumbs up. And Randy and The Fiend, I'd give it a triple thumbs up, but I don't have 3 fingers. But yeah, I felt like this was a very good pay-per-view. I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Give me the thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this review. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. And secondly, make sure you like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all next time.